So
Yeah.
plan, find your strength, plan, put somebody in place that, can highlight your weaknesses, right? If you're not a great money person, you know how to go make money and give it to somebody who knows what to do with it.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep. Welcome back to the Massive Passive Cash Flow Podcast. I'm Gary Wilson, your host. I'm so glad to have you back listening to the show or watching if that's the case in recorded mode. We're glad to have you either way. We really appreciate you participating. I've lost kind of the episodes, but we've been doing this for 8 years. We got a great guest today, Tom Wold, who he and I, we've been becoming fast friends here, and I call ourselves trusted allies in the last couple of months. So you're in for a treat. I'm going to let Tom talk about himself, but you're going to enjoy the story. Enjoy the journey. If you're not driving, please feel free to take notes. If you are driving, don't worry, because we're going to put show notes in when we publish the podcast. So, in any case, first off, Tom, thanks for joining us, man. I'm so glad to have you here on the show. And I know we've been wanting to do this for a couple of months, and it's a real treat for us to have you.
Yeah, thanks, brother. And I appreciate it. I mean, obviously, we met some divine way, and I don't think we even know how we met, but we're brothers from a different mother, and we certainly click, and we have the same heart, right? We care for people, and that servant leadership. That's kind of where I came from, right? But so a little bit about me. My name is Tom Wold. I live in Highland, Indiana, right now. I'm in the Illinois Board of Realtors, Indiana Board of Realtors, and I've been doing residential real estate for 36 years. Okay, so. Believe it or not, right? I started when there wasn't computers. We had the books. Gary, do you remember the books? I don't know if you remember the MLS
absolutely.
books. But, and we used to sell more houses, I think, without all the technology, which is kind of amazing to me. And what that always says to me is it's always been and always will be relationship, right? It's not technology. It's none of that. It's all relationship. And back in the day, we had to be in relationship. You had to see people. You had to go to people's houses. They had to come to your office. And when I reflect back on that, I think what a blessing that was, because you got to see people and talk to people. But anyway, so I've been doing this for 36 years. I was a broker for 12. I ran a team. We do 100, 150 transactions with our team a year. I decided I wanted to get into ownership. So I switched and went to one of the big brokerages. I was going to go in a partnership with somebody. That didn't work out. So I opened my own independent company strategically in 2006 when the market was red hot. Built it to 24 agents, and then something happened in 2008, 2009. And people, I love it when I hear people, Gary, you're probably saying, now you'll hear somebody, the market's bad. It's like, you have no idea what bad is unless you live through that. Because that was an interesting time. Literally the phones just stopped. It was over. And you had to pivot, which I did. So I had that. I had my brokerage for, I think it was 12 years. I bought a franchise. I brought two partners in. I wanted to scale. Okay. So here I am. I'm a visionary, right? Probably like you, Gary. I just go, man. I can see it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And sometimes us visionaries don't slow down and plan the way we should. And so I brought in two partners, and I was going to scale. We had 4 offices, and things weren't going the way we had hoped they would go. And it was just 4 months ago that they were willing to buy me out, or I was willing just to get out. It wasn't a very big money situation, but it was a blessing because I got to move out of the situation I was in. And when I say that, I love to mentor and train people. That's my heart. It's always been my heart. And be quite honest with you, over the years in real estate, I think I gave more to the other people than I did to myself and my family. Now, I've been blessed. I've been married for 38 years, been in real estate for 36 years. I have two daughters. Both of them are in the industry with me. Talk about a blessing, right?
Yeah.
So this industry has been good to me. It's been great to me, and it can be great to you. And I think, I don't know what avenue you really want to go down through today, Gary. But, to me, the biggest thing is this isn't a 9-to-5 job. Why do people get into real estate? You're in the investment world, Gary. You're a genius at that. If anybody wants to learn about the investment, they should be shadowing you and listening to you every minute they can. That's what you do, right? You want to learn about selling houses in the retail market. Listen to guys like me. Not because we're smarter than you, but we've learned through hard knocks, man. We've been through a lot. Yeah. And so I just love training and mentoring. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm in transition, be quite honest with you. Right now, I joined another brokerage. I'm an independent agent. I don't
Yeah.
own any of this company. I'm going through a lot of processes and changes and looking at things. And I'm going to tell you, I'm enjoying every minute of it. It's really made
Yeah.
me quiet. But when I think about real estate, I think the biggest thing that I'd like to offer to people is to realize if you want to get into real estate, meet with somebody, have a consultation. First have a consultation with yourself. Gary, we don't plan enough, right? Get quiet. Gary, you and I talked about that recently. And go get quiet somewhere and figure out, why do you want to be in real estate? Why?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? You may need to go read a book. And
Right.
it's unfortunate. I can look at a lot of young people. I run book studies. I love doing book studies. Young people, hey, let's do a book study. Oh man, I don't have time to read a book. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to make the biggest decision of your life, maybe to change your profession, and you don't have time to read a book. Go start with why, right? Go read Think and Grow Rich. Read a book like that. It'll open your mind, change you. And so have a consultation, sit down. Like if somebody ever was thinking about getting in real estate and wanted to talk to me, call me anytime. 219-512-2548. 219-512-2548. Call me anytime. Right?
It's funny. You give your number, and everybody listening, I just want to remind you this. Think about all the hundreds of podcasts we've had and how few people have actually given you their own personal number. That's a true sign of leadership. I'm telling you, that's why I knew I wanted to have Tom on the show, because when he and I first met, it was literally, Tom used the phrase brother for another mother. And it's not that we had exactly the same path, but we're on the same journey, and we're sort of at the same place in our journeys. We've gone through some life transformation. Tom's he just changed. He's basically a solo agent right now, but I know that that's only temporary. We've all made moves, lateral moves, temporarily. Just like Tom said, just take time to think through things. What is it that you really want? What brings you fulfillment? For me, it just happens to be I love coaching people. I love training in huddles. And your thing might be one-on-one. It might be teaching in classes. I've done all three, and I like them all three. But in any case, so back to you, Tom. I really appreciate you sharing that, because I want people to understand the real you. This business is not perfect, and none of us are perfect. We're perfectly imperfect. But what happens is you bring to the business, the skills you develop in any prior vocation. You bring to the business the skills and talents you develop in your personal relationships, because it is a personal relationship business. And you mentioned that too, Tom, and I appreciate that. But I do want to ask you, I have a question for you. So when it comes to being a solo agent, being a team leader, or being on a team or a team leader, or owning a brokerage, for me, this is my personal story. Owning a brokerage was the least profitable thing I've done. And it worked. I was the fastest growing brokerage in Pennsylvania during the recession years. Here's what's funny. You and I both went through the recession, and our business grew, but see, we had the investor relationships. That's the only reason why. But in any case, back to you. Among the things you've done, let's talk about personal fulfillment. Like, what brings you more fulfillment? And also, let's talk about where and what part of your life and your business journey did you profit the most? Was it being a team leader, a broker owner, or an independent agent? If you can touch on those two things, the personal fulfillment and then the financial fulfillment.
Sure. Yeah. And, I trained under or listened to Mike Ferry, which some of you know. His son, Tom, is a trainer. And one thing I would say, tap into Tom Ferry or Brian Buffini, these guys, and listen to them. That's what I did. So Mike Ferry, right off the bat, I had no money. Okay. I had a baby, one on the way. My wife worked at a hospital as an x-ray tech, so she had a decent job and benefits. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was a troubled soul my whole life. And I still struggle. Us visionaries struggle with that all the time. We're never at peace with things. So Mike Ferry said, if you don't want to be an assistant, then go hire one. I'm like, I don't have any money. How am I going to go hire an assistant? Well, 4 months in, I hired an assistant. And at that time it was $12 an hour, right? My only job was to generate listings. That's all I cared about. I generated listings. So that time in the business was rough, I came from nothing. I actually lived in an area that I wasn't raised in, so I didn't even know that many people. But as I grew and I followed, mentorship, and it's bring a buyer's agent in. So I brought a buyer's agent in. So at one point I had 5 agents, 2 full-time staff people. And that was the best my life and profitability ever was. My wife and I could go on vacations, go to conferences, and they'd keep selling. And actually, I think they sold more when we were gone because we get out of the way sometimes. But seriously, but us visionaries, we can't just relax and sit in that. You know? And I didn't. Next thing you know, I'm going to be an owner. I'm going to be a manager. And I can still remember my wife saying, I thought you didn't ever want to have all that stuff. So for me, be an agent, be a great agent. I like having a team built because of balance. I was home most of the evenings with my family. We had dinner together, not every evening, but quite a bit. At the time, I wasn't doing a whole lot of open houses and things. I didn't work with buyers. I quickly had a buyer's agent. My job was to go find a listing every day. It's all I did when I got up in the morning. How do I find a listing today? Now, I was a prospector. I cold called 2 hours a day. Okay. That was a day that you had enough landlines and things you could do that. And I'd land 30 people. I'd talk to 30 people an hour. That's how many conversations I had.
Nice.
My conversations were quick. Just calling around the area, see if you have any plans of buying or selling a home this year. Right? Then you get the reflex no, right? Because everybody says no. Just like you go shopping and you're looking at clothes. Can I help you? No, I'm just looking. A good salesman would have sold me something, right? A bad salesman let me walk out. So I'd get beyond the reflex no. Hey, if you did decide to make a move, when do you think it would be? And I mastered that. I practiced that. I'd go to the gym in the morning and read my scripts every morning. I'd read it, practice objections. And that's one thing I want to really point out. So have a consultation, figure out why you want to do this. But the next one is put a plan in place. And you're going to need to tap into somebody with experience. We're all different personalities, right? If most of the personalities in this business, if you told them they had to get on the phone and call people, they would not get in the business. Because they're all relationship. They love the relationship piece of it. So you have to figure out who you are, why you want to get in this, who you want to be, and plan around it. And Gary, one thing, I wish I would have met you the day I started, because I knew how to make money. I didn't know what to do with it. And me, like a lot of people in this business, boy, I started out, man, I just started cranking, making money. They didn't train you in real estate school about paying your quarterly taxes. Isn't that amazing? And next thing you know, it's like, hey, I'm going to make so much money. I'll catch up. It took me 5 years to catch up, I think. Making money. But that was one of my weaknesses. So plan, find your strength, plan, put somebody in place that, can highlight your weaknesses, right? If you're not a great money person, you know how to go make money and give it to somebody who knows what to do with it. Period.
Hey there, did you know you can join a free real estate mastermind session every Monday night? It's called Monday Night Live, and it kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm Gary Wilson, and every week I host this live class, joined by investor agents from across the country and around the world. And here's the best part. No selling, no recruiting, just pure, actionable real estate education. Every Monday, we cover everything from the basics to advanced strategies. We even bring in expert guests once or twice a month. Topics like how to buy property using crypto, how AI is reshaping the real estate landscape, what the metaverse and blockchain mean for real estate deals today. Whether you're a new investor or a seasoned pro, you'll walk away with real value, and you'll have the chance to ask questions live, connect with others, and expand your network. Sound good? Then head over to realestatewithgarywilson.com. Click the Resources tab, select Monday Night Live, and you'll find recent replays plus a full schedule. You can register for any upcoming session, even weeks in advance. And if you're watching this on social media, just check the video description for the direct registration link. I'll see you Monday night. Bring your questions, your notepad, and your drive to grow. I look forward to connecting with you.
And what we should all do is you should put your 10% aside to buy your first property. Gary is a genius on teaching you how to go buy real estate with little money. We're in the real estate industry. We sell houses to people. We see great investments all the time. We should be buying all of them. So to me, have a consultation, put a plan in place, and then you got to have an accountability plan. You got to be around people. You got to be accountable to somebody. Everybody's got to know what you're doing. And so I started out, and I made good money. I went through the recession. I had to pivot. I learned how to do short sales and those kind of things and foreclosures and work with investors. I've never done another job in 36 years. Okay, this is provided for my family, so that tells you a little bit about it. But, as we're talking, like my phone number's out there. My email, Tom Wold, the number 1 at Gmail. If you're humble and hungry, call me. But if you're not humble and hungry, don't call me. Right?
Yeah.
If you go into this thing with the ego and you think you know better and you don't need anybody, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in having a conversation with you. I'm just being straight, man. That's what it is. And I don't have a coaching company. I don't charge him for coaching. I love growing people. I'm a faith-based guy, and I know that you can't give away things, right? I know the ultimate giver. I'll try to outgive the ultimate giver, and it won't happen. So if you need something, I'm happy to help with it. But but before I got into business, my life was a mess. I mean, I was a cocaine addict in my mid-20s. And went into cardiac arrest, and I wish I would have died.
Wow.
Wish I would have died, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't just take those kind of experience and then just go, okay, I'll let that go, and I'm going to get into real estate. I'm going to be a husband. I'm going to be a father. You got to deal with that stuff, man. That took me a long time to learn to deal with that stuff. You know? I was listening to somebody the other day, and he was talking Dan Sullivan. I don't know if you know Dan, Gary, but
absolutely, got coached with him.
Yeah, he's 82 years old, I think, going to be 82. But he had said something about you got to love yourself. Right. So if you're going to get in this in your sales, you got to be there for that other person. The only way you can be there is to be whole yourself. I've been counseling so many times. I'm a great salesman, so I can convince counselors that I'm okay. Okay, that's what us sales guys do, But but this business has been a blessing. This business is a blessing, but it's hard.
Yeah.
But where else can you jump into a business? I mean, some states it's 65, 75 hours to get a real estate license.
Right.
You want to make 50,000 and work 20 hours? I can show you how to do that. You want to make 500,000 and build a team? I can show you how to do that. That's the opportunities in this industry. Yeah,
it really is. It's if you think about the options out there for going in the business, you've got your franchises you can buy like a McDonald's franchise. I don't even know what that is, maybe $1 million a franchise now. I don't know, and then the startups might be 10,000, but then you're taking a big risk. And here in real estate, you get a license. I mean, most states it's 60, 70 hours. So it's maybe $200 or something. Then you get the license. It's under $50. And I know a lot of traditional brokers that say, you need money to pay for marketing. I'm like, well, I understand why they think that way, but there's ways you can conduct business here that are free or very inexpensive when it comes to lead sourcing and marketing. Now, the other side of the coin is if you don't already have another stream of income coming in or a savings that'll last you 6 months or a year, it could be scary, because you're starting from scratch. But the thing is, you get to input your own personality, your own style, your own. We all communicate. We have our own communication styles. We have our own learning styles. You can reflect that in your business. So you can create any brand you want. It's an absolute dream for entrepreneurs, and you build it like what I've done. I've built a national team, and now I'm actually helping other people build teams because I realized. Like you said, entrepreneurs are always looking for the next thing. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, man, what can I do? I built this team. Now we got 2 virtual assistants that run it. That's how unbelievably efficient it is. I mean, my profit margin is like 85%. You could never do that in a franchise model. Not even close, No. So, and I know when I tell people that, they're like, that's impossible. And I will say, yes, based on what you're doing now and where you come from, it is impossible. You've got to really open up your eyes and look at what's happening to the industry today, guys, and realize the infrastructure is changing because of technology. Technology is driving the change. And those that embrace it are going to not just survive but thrive. And those that don't are going to be basically part of history. There'll always be the franchise model. We still have horses, right? We still have horses, even though we have cars and planes. We still have propeller-driven planes, but yet, jet engines is where we hop on if we want to go fast and go far. It's the same thing in real estate. You're always going to have the mom and pop brokerages, local brokerages. But the teams, here's the thing I want to get across here. I built a brokerage. Tom built a brokerage, guys. And both of us right now do not have a brokerage. And there's a reason for that. It is hard work. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's no greater liability than being the broker owner. When something goes wrong, even if it's the other agent from the other brokerage, if it goes to court, they're going to drag your butt in there. Guaranteed. It's because of the real estate law. They have to. They don't have a choice. Once it happens a few times, you realize you might have thought you had a lot more upside potential, and maybe you do, But what you didn't account for is the downside risk. And that's what entrepreneurs, that's where they fall short. They're not thinking of the downside risk. We've got to get whacked upside the head to realize, oh, I've got to now play defense. We should have played defense from the beginning. I didn't. I got whacked a few times. But I'm telling you right now, the team structure, not the traditional local team kind of thing, that's good too. That it has its place. What I'm talking about are teams that are national in scope, because you're looking like and acting like and thinking and feeling like a team, like a business, because you are a business. You're just operating on somebody else's platform. That's the ingenious model. Let them take liability and responsibility and operations and management, compliance. Let them take that on. You step on top of that, and then you're in production. You're on offense, scoring points. That's what entrepreneurs want. We don't want to play offense manager. We want to build.
Yeah, and you're in a model that allows you to do that. And if somebody's out there thinking they want to open their own brokerage, call me. Yeah. I'm serious. Call me, because I'll talk to you about it. Because there's ways to go out there and to scale at levels you have no idea without the risk attached to it. And it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Yep. Gary's doing a great job of that. But this industry is great. It is. And I like a little team just because I like balance. But I'm the old school guy, right? I think that 5 o'clock the phone goes off and I don't have to do anything at night. Yeah. But you talked about the technology, and you're right, Gary. If you don't get on top of this stuff, you're out. But a lot of that you got to delegate out. You don't have every day. You should be waking up and just worrying about your relationships. Period. Yeah. That's all you need. If I can move to a different state right now and know nothing about real estate. Now I don't want to go sell like that again, but I could go out and sell, and I'll make 100,000 my first year. I mean, that would be pretty simple to do. Go make 150 in year 2. Now you listen to me say that, like, oh, come on, it's not that easy. It's not gonna be easy, but what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go out and master a market. I'm gonna go find the top producer and maybe even go work by them. Hey, you mind if I shadow you? I'll help. I'll do anything for you. Show me what you're doing. Right? Go preview homes. I used to preview homes 3 days a week and just go look at inventory till you become a master. But you need to have somebody that's helping you with that structure. Somebody's going to hold you accountable to that structure. Gary, you do a podcast every Monday night, and I think you do them all through the week. And you know what's so beautiful, Gary? You don't even charge for it, and you don't even have to be part of your team to go in there. I mean, but that's what's out there in the world today. True leaders love to give it away because they know we didn't create it. Yeah. We just learned it from somebody else. So we just love to give it away. I mean, what's the point of having the knowledge if you're not going to share it with somebody? You know? So,
it's funny. You mentioned technology again. In the very beginning, if you remember, you mentioned technology then too when everything went online. And guys, I want to tell you, I know AI is moving fast. We're all in it. We have AI doing our strategic planning with us now, and even we created AI employees. But the thing I want to mention is when it comes to being a real estate professional, like Tom said, it's a relationship business. The technology doesn't replace you; it just makes your job easier. That's if you keep thinking. I remember when the internet came out. Remember, Tom? Everybody was, especially back then. You and I were still in our 30s and 40s.
Right.
The people in their 60s like, oh, this is it. We're done. We don't do this anymore. And I remember thinking, I don't think so. I mean, I had a computer science degree. I was like, I think this is just going to make it a lot better. And that's exactly what happened.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're always going to. There's going to be a need for us for forever, right? To be part. But if you don't stay on top of things, you will be weeded out. What was the old statistic? I think 87% of the realtors get out of the business within the first 5 years. 87% in retail.
I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah, 87% get out in the first 5 years. That's insane. And there's no reason for that. But it's because, and the training's just not there, but it's really more from people coming in with not a humble, hungry heart. I mean, you got to be hungry, man. Gary, we've trained up people. I've trained up so many people over years that I was hungrier for their success than they were. That doesn't work. Exactly. You got to be so hungry for what you want, and we'll walk you through that. But anybody wants to talk, I'm happy to talk. What are the questions you had, though? Anything else, Gary?
Yeah, I appreciate you talking about the passion and the desire and the drive, because I learned a long time ago. I'm more comfortable working with people like you and I are level. And it's not meant, it doesn't mean that I don't like working with brand new people. I actually literally enjoy that. I love the thrill and the challenge of helping new people develop and get to the point where they realize I can do this. I can be independent. The first thing they're going to do is be independent, be an independent solo agent, right? Then the next thing is I want to build a team. Next, I want to build a brokerage. So I love helping people do that. But just because of where I am in life, to me, having a conversation with you, Tom, is just more natural because I know you've been through the things that I've been through. We both been through the same things,
Right.
same recessions, the same challenges. And what it comes down to is the reason we not only survive but thrive is it just comes down to the drive and the passion and the desire. And I mean, you don't even have to be the smartest person on the planet. You just, if you can learn, if you're a learner, you definitely got to be teachable and you have passion and drive, you're going to make it. It's just a matter of time. In fact, I think the best time to get into business is like right now. A lot of agents have recently left because volume has been low, but those are the ones that just didn't have the drive. They just gave up. And one of my famous quotes, everybody asks me is, what's your secret to success? And I'll tell them, I say, look, I got whacked a few times. I had lucky breaks. I had bad luck breaks and good luck breaks. But the thing is I really believed in what I was doing, and I had the vision of a national team. And in spite of the setbacks and the roadblocks, I never let it defeat me. I just never gave up. And I also pass it on to the people that I teach and train. So our team right now, we're actually producing a 40% higher than a national average. And people will say, hey, you need to go with Gary as the greatest coach on the planet. I don't think I am. Quite frankly, I'm just a regular guy. I learned from the school of hard knocks. I didn't have a Harvard degree or anything like that. I didn't have a business degree. I had a computer science degree. I was severely handicapped, But
I barely made it out of high school and went to 3 junior colleges and could never figure out anything. And that's but that hungriness, man, you gotta have it. You gotta burn the ships, right? You can't say, you and I know it. I meet with someone, they say, yeah, we're gonna give it a try. Just don't even give it a try. Don't even give it a try. If you want to say, I'm all in, I'm going to do whatever it takes to have what I want in my life. I want to be independent. I want to get paid what I'm worth. Right. Most of us get in this because we want to get paid what we're worth. That's why I got into it. I get tired of working for other people. We're hard workers, right? And we care about people. We take great care of people. I want to get paid for what I'm worth. In this industry, you'll get paid exactly what you're worth. What a beautiful thing, right? And if you want a lot, you get a lot. If you don't, I mean, there's so many opportunities. It's crazy. But it's a great opportunity. We're here to help. Gary, you've got some things out there people can tap into anytime. I'm not. It's so funny. I go, if I went to a different market, could go sell $100,000 a year, 150. I don't really have a social media presence, and I don't really even think about it a whole lot. Now I should, because I could do a whole lot more. But it's just relationship, man. Just go out and talk to people. I mean, you could go do 2 open houses a week and just work them at a high level and do them the way you're supposed to, and go out and do door knockers and follow up and everything else and make $100,000 a year.
Yeah. What's funny? You just mentioned that. Have you taught that to some of your students? And I call them students, by the way, instead of just agents. But like when you're brand new and you don't have any business and maybe you just moved to town, just volunteer to do open houses for other agents who have them, right?
Right.
And it's one of the best ways to get some immediate business. Get some buyers who they're looking out because they're not ready, but they're interested. Get those clients, and then they're going to buy something 3 or 6 months later. And is there anything else you can think of? I knew this was going to happen. We're going to run out of time.
That's okay.
Fast. But is there anything you can think of, Tom, also, whether it's personal or business, that either you learn yourself or maybe you got from your granddad or something to help, especially the people who are out there right now, are like, man, I want to build a team. I just don't know where to start, or I want to work with investors, or I want to focus on new construction. Like, is there a technique or a strategy or a philosophy that you can share with people who want to get to their next level?
To me, when I first started, I remember going to Mike Ferry's seminar, and I was sitting there with a group, and he was talking. He had a panel up there, and this guy's up there. Hey, I used to be a cop. I'm now making $150,000 a year. I was a priest. I didn't make $100,000, and I'm sitting there going, "What are these guys doing?" Right? So I went up there, and between the breaks, you could go up and talk to them. I stayed up there. I went up there every minute I could. I got in a mastermind group with a group of these guys my first year in the business. They were selling big numbers, but they knew I was humble and hungry. Yeah. And so my recommendation would be, find somebody who's doing what you want to do and go hang around them, find them, do whatever and just be around them. And if you can go build relationships. So one thing I would tell people though, master contracts, master dialogues, and master the market before you start putting yourself out there. And when I say that, you got to just be yourself. But if somebody walks into your open house and you're not comfortable with the inventory, you're not comfortable with the contract, you're not comfortable with how to deal with the market, if somebody says, hey, what do? I got to sell my home and buy one at the same time, but I can't, I don't want to be homeless. If you don't know how to transition that conversation, you're wasting your time in that open house.
Yeah.
So learn this stuff, right? And that's a big thing we do. And we do role play. I mean, I role play all the time. I love role playing. So find somebody doing what you want to do and emulate them. Just hang around them, do what they're doing.
Yeah.
And again, good people who just care and do this out of what they were blessed with, right? We're servant leaders. They're going to be happy to give you everything they got, everything they got. And if they don't, move to the next one because that's not the one you want mentoring you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I would say. Just get around people that are doing it.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I really appreciate you sharing that because I know I didn't get where I'm at myself. Lord knows I definitely had help. And what's interesting, in hindsight, it's so much easier now to understand it and talk about it. But along the journey, I'm sure like me, you've had certain people that just showed up at the right time, saying the right thing, giving you the time you need out of the goodness of their heart, because chances are somebody did it for them 10 or 20 years before. That's my story. I had a business that was embezzled for me. I actually was able to save it, but not enough to where I had to sell it at a loss. But the bottom line is people are going to disappoint you out there. The good news is for every bad person, there's 100 good people. For every bad thing you have, there's 100 good things. And when you meet somebody like Tom, right? And I'm the same way. I've had people question me like this, like they're doubtful that there's something, I have some hidden agenda. I'm like, no, I know if I help you, chances are you're going to be in a conversation one day and somebody's going to say, I really don't even know where to turn with this. I don't know what they're going to say. You should call Gary. He talked to me one time, didn't cost a dime. Yeah. I just called. I met him at a conference. I called him up and I gave him the time they needed to help him get through. Sometimes it's just putting your arm around their shoulder. I've had this happen recently. Yeah. Another colleague of mine had his business taken right out from under him because he didn't prepare it. I told him 3 years ago, I said, you need to organize it, structure it. You need to copyright, trademark, patent protect, all this stuff you got to do. And you got to do it now. Because he was talking to people. And I said, remember, 99 people are here to help you. But there's going to be one person, if they sense an opportunity, they're going to take it and they're going to take your stuff. That's exactly what happened. And
thanks for sharing that, Gary, because that's what I want to get as visionaries. I can teach you how to go out and make money. Yep. I can't teach you what to do with it, but Gary can.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
No, I mean that. I mean, you can go. Gary can teach you how to go make money, but I'm just saying, your wisdom with the financial piece of it, the investment part. I've got a guy that used to be on my team. He's now with the company I'm with. He's on my team, but I don't get paid anything for him. And I'm gonna introduce him to you because this guy is gonna crush it in the investment world. And I can't give him what he needs.
Yeah. You know what's funny? My background is definitely, I started off all investing and it got me where I am today. So this business, the team, is really an offshoot of that the investing gave me the platform to launch these other businesses. And what I'm doing now, I finally realized I need to actually incorporate it to make it a real business. But I actually work for free about 80% of the time. And the other 20%, they're not all agents. I've coached restaurant owners that went from 8 to 200 restaurants. I've coached airline pilots, engineers, military, to build a foundation upon which they can then pursue their dreams. That's really beautiful. That's the entrepreneurial dream. And for me, you can't even put a price tag on that, So,
well, even, all the years of coaching and mentoring, like I talk about, have a consultation, right? Get a plan in place and get accountability in place. That is for every area in your life. And that's what we teach. Like, I'm going to say, okay, what do you want? What do you want in your relationships? Right? Yeah. What do you want in your physical life? What do you want in your spiritual life, if that's something you're interested in? And do the same thing for all those categories. And that's what I like teaching that. Because if you don't have all those other areas you're working on, that's not going to do you any good to go out and make a bunch of money. It doesn't work. Yeah. You got to work on everything. So, but I'm happy to do whatever you guys need. Again, 219-512-2548. Reach out anytime. And Gary, I appreciate you. You're a beautiful soul, the servant leader that I feel honored to be in your presence, brother.
Well, I feel the same way, Tom, and I appreciate you doing this. And for everybody listening or watching, if it's in recorded mode, you just got Tom's phone number accounted 3 times in his podcast.
Right.
Think about it. How many podcast guests are giving you their own phone number?
Yeah.
In fact,
that's my cell phone. I don't have any other numbers, so that's the one.
I know it's what's interesting. So this is, in any case, for everybody listening, if you could please leave a review. We love your reviews. It's what makes the podcast world go around. Tom and I don't get paid for this. It's a community service. Yeah. Indirectly, we get to know each other. We build relationships. And for those of you who are the brave and courageous, reach out to us, man. What do you got to lose? There's no contract. Just call us up. Ask a question. Let's solve a problem together.
Hey,
we may be working together. So,
and Gary, I was going to say, if anybody knows the love languages, there's 5 love languages. And we like words of affirmation. That's a love language to me. So if somebody were to call me and say, "Thank you, I appreciate that," that's my love language. You'd be doing me a favor, okay? And I think Gary's the same way, man. We appreciate it.
Oh, it does. I tell people all the time, very rarely do people like us get compliments because people aren't thinking that we need that because we're where we are. But the reality is that's the stuff that's my mojo, man. When somebody calls me 6 years, I've had people call me 20 years after I coach them. And by the way, every person who's ever called me after 20 years, Tom, every single one of them has been totally retired. 40 years old, living a life in Florida, playing golf, living off.
That's beautiful.
I know, it's amazing. And there I am, still hustling.
Wish I would have known you when I was in my 20s, brother.
Yeah, yep. Well, hey, it's never too late, man. You know the old saying.
I know.
Best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The second best time is right now.
Yep.
So,
amen.
Let's do it, man. But
all right,
listen,
man.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you, Tom, and everybody listening. I appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. God bless you and all your loved ones. And we will see you on the next Massive Passive Cash Flow podcast.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Massive Passive Cash Flow. Be sure to go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.